Welcome back, baseball fans, as we continue our Legends in the Making playthrough of Out of the Park Baseball 26, where we are going from 1921 to 2025, including Negro League players and others right from the beginning. I did make a minor change coming into this episode. I changed the game settings to where I noticed, people were being left out in seasons that they missed in real life, and I had it still checked that they would retire when they did in real life. So I changed that because we're trying to rewrite baseball history. So now, especially coming up to World War II, the likes of Ted Williams and others will not be missing those seasons, I think. So we get to see, can he do even better than what he did in real life? Or like Babe Ruth, will he kind of fade away? Where is the Babe? I forgot what team he's on. Is it the Senators? It is. So, he's been having solid seasons. He's been leading the league in home runs and RBI and such, but he's not anywhere near his total. So 494, but he's only 300 RBI from his RBI total, and he had 2,800 hits while he's at 27. So he's got everything but the power numbers, and I wonder if he's got more doubles. So that makes me think that maybe it has to do with the stadium he's playing in, and it could be because, he's facing pitchers that are better than maybe the pitchers that he faced because they're not on his team this time, or because you have Negro League players who maybe are stymieing him as well. But, his average is 332, real life 342 at 690 slugging. 603, that's because the home runs aren't there, but he looks like he's still gonna make, if he's there for another year, 500 and probably 2,000 RBI. So he's still doing great. We did have Epirixie retire, so he finished with 169 victories, 175 losses, 51 saves, picking up 947 strikeouts compared to real life where he had 266 wins, 251 losses, and he had 1,300 strikeouts. So he did not get the opportunities for us these last several seasons from 1926 on, because that is when he was picking up, a good 50, 60 wins in this stretch. Actually, even more than that whenever you go to these, that he wasn't even having much success. So we did hurt his career there, but we gave him 3 World Series championships. So you're welcome, Epa, and thank you for what you did for us. That brings us to the first round of the draft. As you can see, I am not familiar with these names. Maybe you are. If you are and you know something about them, leave me a comment. Tell me a little bit about some of these players, because I do not know Phil Cavarretta, Ray Dandridge, Tommy Heinrich. Dandridge, maybe? No, okay. He's a Negro League player, it looks like, potentially. Yes, he was. Heck of a player, too. It looks like 314 average, 1,000 hits. So Danny is maybe who we need to go after. But he won't be there by the time we draft. So let's jump to the draft where we are drafting 14th. Not looking good for us. He'll probably be gone. And let's see, as we start the draft, what it looks like. First pick for the St. Louis Browns will be Roy Cullenbine, third baseman. Then we have Phil Buck Cavarretta. Fantastic. The Phillies are going to take Tommy the Clutch Heinrich. Then we get Pat Patterson. Is that the wrestler there? Chicago is going to take Jack Hallett. The Cubs, Bobby Doerr. Buddy Lewis. Ooh. Philadelphia took Dandridge. Then Bobby Estella from Brooklyn Dodgers. Frank Buck McCormick dropping. L.B. Fletcher, Leon Day, and then Eppie Miller. The scouting director represents Bob School. Oh, no, I remember. I know another schoolboy. He was a Negro League pitcher, though, so he's a wild card on what we're going to get. We do need some pitching help, probably. We need a lot just kind of to build up. We've got a solid team, but we just can't quite get there anymore, but we're not bad enough to get one of these high draft picks. So we're going to meet that demand, and we are going to jump ahead, see the end of season awards, and check out who we end up drafting, and then move into the next season. Here we are, April 1934. We're about to kick off the season against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Well, let's check in on the award winners from last season to start. Starting with our Gold Glove winners. Bill Foster, his name's been popping up a lot. Joe Cronin, our former player, winning Gold Glove over for Detroit. Isn't that his? Yeah, that's his second one. Earl Combs, Fred Shute, Bing Miller in the NL. Martin Dihigo, that paid off for us, getting his fourth Gold Glove. Sewell Alexander, Newt Allen, another one of our guys. Mel Ott, he is just racking up the accolades. He is having a fantastic career so far. 148 home runs. Looks like he's kind of on pace, except he fell off big time in 1933. 6 home runs. Wow. That's crazy. AL reliever of the year, Dolph Luque. In the NL, it was Ray Henshaw. We had Thornton Lee coming in third. Platinum Stick Award winners, Mickey Cochran. He's been doing it. Ripper Collins. What a great name. Joe Cronin, our guy again. Babe Ruth picking it up in right field. Al Simmons in center field. In the NL, Martin Dihigo for pitcher. Josh Gibson at catcher. There he has arrived. Already 3 seasons. Lou Gehrig picking up yet another one. 31 home runs. 342. Great line. 8-3 WAR. Charlie Gehringer. Pepper Martin. That's our former guy as well. Playing third base now. Interesting. That's not huge third base numbers. Heine Manouche, guy we traded for. He has been doing fantastic for us. Crushing the ball, not really hitting for power, but just the average is fantastic. Wally Berger, Goose Goslin. Rookie of the year goes to Joe Medwick for the White Sox. Schoolboy Rowe for the Pirates, who we are going to be going up against in our first series. And the Cy Young goes to Ed Brandt, with Carl Hubble finishing in second. And the NL, Satchel Paige, Lefty Grove shutout there, but Satchel, old Satch there, 171 strikeouts, 25-9 record. If only we could get him. I don't think there's any interest. This is the way I checked. Make this work now. There's nobody even close that they would consider, so forget that. Now, as far as updates from the offseason, we have our Hall of Fame results. Tris Speaker getting in, Eddie Collins, and Ty Cobb, all 3 getting in on their first year. Bender was so close. Charles Bender was. Other names of note, Zach Wheat, Bobby Veach, and Smokey Joe Wood, Bullet Joe Bush, one of our guys. He's slipping farther and farther and farther. Wally Pipp lost in his first year. Lee Meadows did as well. So no real shocking ones left off. We did make a major deal, though. We shopped around Hal Trotsky. We already have Lou Gehrig. I know Gehrig's coming near the end. I'm not sure, but I wanted to see what we could get. Turns out Carl Hubble was available. So we just picked up a 3-time Cy Young winner, 2-time MVP. He's had the Rookie of the Year. He's been an All-Star. He's won 3 titles, and he's set to go. He has led the American League in wins 4 times. He's led the ERA twice. This is the guy we need. I'm hoping he will be the catalyst, along with Lefty Grove behind him, Luis Tiant and Charlie Root. I do want to spotlight Charlie Root. I didn't realize that Charlie Root is actually the guy who was pitching when Babe Ruth did his famous did he or did he not call his shot to center field. He was pitching for the Cubs, and it was Charlie Root that made that pitch. He denied that Ruth ever called that shot. And his daughter did as well. It's like, no, he did not call a shot. He was pointing at other players and such. So who knows? But Charlie Root, that's our guy. That's our connection to the Babe. As far as draft picks go, no one of note really that we brought in, at least that I know of. We had Bob Griffith, Buddy Rosar, Bob Joyce, Stu Martin, Steve Messner, and so on, and then a bunch of names that I don't know. That was a very shallow draft class. So we're going to kick off the season, update us back in July to see how the season's shaking out. Time for the midseason update. We started off extremely slow, but luckily everybody else was as well. We have clawed our way back up to second, 3 games back. We were slightly ahead. When we look at the roster, we are hitting the ball great. Pitching and defense are going to be our Achilles heel yet again. Oscar Charleston is leading off. He's doing fantastic for us. Heine Manouche is hitting 378. Dahigo, not what we were hoping. Lou Gehrig is having another fantastic year. Al Lopez is doing great. Cole Papabell is back here. We've got him playing second. We might need to change that because I don't know that his offensive production is worth having him there. But look at Carl Hubble, 2.18 ERA, 13-6, doing what we brought him in to do. Luis Tiant is having a solid season. Ted Trent. Lefty Grove just got hurt for several weeks, for 6 weeks, so he is out. Dahigo is getting a chance to pitch for us because nobody else has really stood out. Thornton Lee's doing great in the bullpen, and we kind of want to just keep these guys here. They don't look like they're ready. When we check in the standings, not only are the Cubs winning here, the Athletics are winning because we took Hubble away from the Tigers. I wonder how Trotsky's doing. 17 home runs. He is having a monster season for them, though. But they are struggling on everything else because we've taken both Dahigo and Hubble from them the last couple of years. So when we look at the batting average, we got Archie Vaughn, Earl Averill, Joe Medwick. Home runs, Trotsky is leading the way. Let's take a quick look. The Babe, how's he doing? 10 home runs this season. So he has hit almost 2,000 RBI. He has hit 500 home runs. He's leading the way as far as that goes, but he's 200 home runs off his pace. Medwick and Trotsky tied for RBIs. Nish Williams at 16 stolen bases. When we check out the pitching, Glenn Ellis at a 2.2 ERA. Wade Hoyt, Tex Carlton. Then we got Bill Lee and Tex Carlton again and Paul Dean. And then we've got 85 strikeouts for Pat Malone, Jim Weaver. These are some new names popping up here. Bill Harris leading the saves. When we look over on our side, Manouche and Gehrig are fighting it out, teammates, for the batting title. The batting title was huge news for much of the 20s, like the first half of the 20th century. Like when Ted Williams is hitting 400 and others are competing, like the batting title was just, or actually even before that, Ty Cobb and those guys. It came Nap Lejeau and Ty Cobb. They were down to the wire and won, and it's amazing. Like, check out the story where Nap Lejeau ends up winning it on the final day, and they were competing for a car that season. I don't want to butcher it, so I don't want to give it here. Jimmy Fox leading the way, 18 home runs. He's, if only we could have got him playing catcher. So Mel Ott, Wally Berger. Then we got Gehrig, though, leading in the RBI category. Ben Chapman for stolen bases. Again, Gehrig is just phenomenal here for us. When it looks at the ERA, we got Red Ruffing beating out Hubble, and then Brewer. All three are having a fantastic season. Hubble's dominating wins, probably because he's getting more games. Yeah, and he does 15 games to 21. Dizzy Dean is leading in strikeouts, so followed by Page, who's having a rougher year. Dizzy Dean's doing okay. Dutch Leonard is leading in saves, so his time as a starter has not come. And then Hubble was again leading the way. So things are looking okay for us, and we just need to figure out what can we do to get the pitching better and to try to get into the World Series again, or lose enough games where we end up down here so we can get a good pick, because we're coming up into some heavy hitters again over the last half of this decade. So with that being said, let's jump ahead. Well, here we are in September, and it is a tight race. This is the tightest it's ever been as far as multiple teams involved. So in the AL, it's down to a two-team race, the Athletics and the Guardians. While in the NL, we have the Boston Braves that taking the lead. We were in first for a while. The Giants are only a game back. The Reds are 2 back. Us and the Cubs are 2.5 back. So this is going to be a tight one. And Gehrig, look at Gehrig, the second half he's been having. He's hitting .391 with 35 home runs, 130 RBI. It looks like he's got 2 of the 3 for the Triple Crown locked up. But will Jimmy Fox have a monster year to catch Gehrig and pass him? Gehrig's on fire. We're hoping he keeps that up because we want him to take home the Triple Crown. And Hubble's doing great as far as pitching goes. He's doing everything we were hoping. It's going to be close. We're going to hope we see us in the World Series when we come back here. And it was not meant to be. We lost. We had a stretch of losing 5 in a row. Dropped us down into 5th. But then, of course, we had to win enough at the end just to get back up into 3rd. So now we don't get as good of a draft pick. It would have been nice to have these two picking over us. But we also see Gehrig barely getting beat out for home runs for the Triple Crown. But let's start over in the AL for the end of season statistics. Medwick taking home the batting crown with .351. Trotsky We trade him away. He hit 338. He had a monster season. Medwick getting the RBI, so he was just denied barely as well, just like Gehrig. Nish Williams with 34 stolen bases. That's quite the statistic there. That's a high number than what we've been seeing, it feel like. We've got in the pitching categories, Hal Schumacher with 2.68 ERA taking it home. Bill Lee, 21 wins over Paul Dean. And Paul Dean, though, taking the strikeouts with 184 over Pat Malone. Saves, Chief Hogsett with 14 saves. In the NL, we already mentioned Gehrig, followed by his teammate Manouche, 373. What a season. Gehrig, Josh Gibson popping up there, hitting 300 as well, 117 RBI. He's ready to erupt. Gehrig, a wide margin on RBI, and he would have he defeated the AL as well. If he were in the AL, he would have taken home a tie for home runs to get credit for the Triple Crown. Stolen bases go to Billy Rogel and then JoJo White, but 34 both leagues. Gehrig, again, dominating. He probably has another MVP season here. ERA, Carl Hubble wins. Carl Hubble, but strikeouts go to Satchel Paige. He couldn't get the ERA down there as well, but he did win 17, so it'll be interesting who ends up with the Cy Young. I think Hubble's on the front runner here. And then Hybel in saves. So we have the Giants, who had Josh Gibson leading the way and Dizzy Dean going up against the Guardians with Archie Vaughn and Jack Burns, Kiddo Davis, and then we have Paul Dean. So I'm going to put my bets on the Giants. I feel like they were in a tougher league than what Cleveland was. So I'm going to say this one's going to go to the Giants. When we look at the team histories, 2 trips to the playoff for Cleveland, 1 championship. They last won in 1920, the season before we started, but they've been to the World Series since we started. While the Giants, 6 trips to the playoffs, 1 championship, but none since 1917 and 1905. So that one is going to be, this is their first trip, and we'll see how it goes. So game 1, here we go. Oh, we don't care about our minor league players retiring. They are nobody. They're just ball players, so-and-so. So New York did win 7-6 in the first one. However, boy, Gibson did not get the big, but Dizzy Dean, 7 strikeouts, got beat around a little bit. Cleveland defeats 4-0 in the second one. Third game goes to the Giants with Warnke leading the way, 5-3. Gibson on the board with a home run. Archie Vaughn got his second of the series. Cleveland wins back 5-4. This one's going back and forth. And the Giants 5-0 behind Dizzy Dean, getting ready for game 6. Cleveland 5-1. So it is a game 7. And New York does take the title 3-1 with Josh Gibson picking up MVP honors. He hit 346 with 5 RBI, 2 home runs. So he's the one who's going to take it home. And the Giants win their first World Series in our playthrough. So let's jump ahead into some of the off-season specialties and turmoils and events that will be happening. All right, we are going to pick up and look at the awards first of all, because we're about to go into the player draft. All the awards have actually gone through this time. So when we look at the Gold Glove Awards for the AL, Glenn Ellis, Farrell, Joe Kuehl, Joe Cronin getting another one. A lot of different players. Earl Combs is back up there. In the NL, Dihigo getting another one. Mel Ott, of course, picking up. Dihigo got 2, center field and pitcher. Look at that. The man's talent, El Immortal indeed. The reliever of the year goes to Jack Russell, picking up, and then 2 for Jesse Petty. First place votes, but not enough to move up. Interesting. Dutch Leonard picking it up for the Cubs. 18 saves, 2.8 ERA. Only 46 games. He had a little stint in the minors as well. AL Platinum Stick Award winners: Bill Dickey, Burkhofer, Ripper Collins, getting another one, Lazzari, Archie Vaughn picking up another one. Babe Ruth with 26 home runs. He had 106 RBIs, which means he did pass 2,000 RBI. 520. He's close to 3,000 hits. How many hits did he get? He's already passed his hit total. Will he retire soon is the question. I mean, he's got nothing left except he can hit and he can walk. He's going to strike out like crazy. So that's going to be interesting. Will he retire is the question. In the NL, Dehigo picking up for pitcher, Jimmy Fox for catcher, Lou Gehrig getting yet another one. I mean, this man is on a roll. He's almost to 2,000 hits. He's hit 200 hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. He's crushing the ball. RBIs, 1,200 RBI, 294 home runs. I don't know that he's going to duplicate some of these numbers, and it will be interesting to see, does he fall off in real life due to the disease that happened, or will this get to see what would happen? Maybe a what if he did not. That'll be interesting. But 1,900 RBIs and 2,700 hits. He's at 1,900 hits and 12. He's got a shot to hit those totals. And what do you have? 294. He was a 493. That one's going to be a little bit tougher, but it'll be interesting. So not as many home runs going on in this. Now, when we go back to our newcomer, the Rookie of the Year, Paul Dean for Cleveland, beating out Marv Owen. Hank Greenberg. Oh, he has arrived to the big time. 335, 25 home runs, 113 RBI. Woo. Beating out Bill Delancey. In the Cy Young goes to Paul Dean for Cleveland, picking up Rookie of the Year and Cy Young. Wow. AL goes to Carl Hubble, our man. We brought him in, and he wins one now in both leagues. Earl Averill barely squeaking out. Fewer first-place votes than Archie Vaughn, but he wins the vote, barely squeaking out. That's the closest one we've had. In the NL, Gehrig, on the other hand, dominates, as he should. There's no one else after a season like that should have come close to him. Now, as we jump to the first-year draft, we are drafting 10th this time. So we moved up a little bit, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but we had a solid year. The draft pool, though, little thin. Again, there were a name or two that I recognize. So Enos Slaughter, I recognize. He was a Cardinal in real life. Man, look at that. Playing for a long time. But I'm guessing, well, no, he was up before the war. So he just came right in. I don't know Willard Brown, but he's one of the top guys. So he played 1 year, Negro League player, and he came over for just a couple games to the Browns as kind of a stunt in 1947. Him and another player, I don't remember who it was, but Jackie Robinson, 47, leading the way, but Larry Doby also broke in the American League, and then you have Willard Brown and somebody else broke in for they were just there for a little bit, and I can't remember if it was Willard or another one who was a massive home run hitter. Stan Spence, is this the guy? Nope. So there are some big time power potential guys here. Eddie Stanky, there's another one I recognize. Majeski sounds familiar, but I'm not really sure. As far as pitchers go, we've got Harry Burchine, Russ Bowers. Dizzy Trout, I recognize. Don't recognize any of the others. So we'll see who we get. We're going to start the draft. Go to the draft pool. And there we go. Sortable list. That's what I wanted. So let's see. Starting with the Browns, they get the first pick again. They are loading up on talents. It's not the best. They got Enos Slaughter taking them from us, the crosstown rivals. Washington gets Stan Spence. Then we get Willard Brown going third. The Yankees take Harry the Cat Breachin. The Phillies are taking Russ Bowers. The White Sox, Wally Judnick. Les May Fleming for the Dodgers. Boston gets Dizzy Trout. The Reds get John Rigney. And now our scouts suggesting Buster Adams. Not much of a career. He also doesn't even look to have that great of stuff. So I'm hoping, is that the best we've got? Wow. What about this guy? Only 3 pitches. He throws hard. He's potential. Chet Labs, is he better than Adam? So he had a better. All of these aren't the best. Eddie Stanky's there though. I do recognize that name. I'd rather have a name I recognize. I think it's more interesting that way. So we're going to bring in Eddie. Draft him And with that, let's jump ahead and see how things shake out whenever we get to the season opener. All right, opening day, 1935, and I'm excited about this team this season. So, first, some off-season updates. As far as the draft goes, nothing big for us. Eddie Stanky, but then we had Eddie Smith going the Eddie route. Harry Kraft, Charles Ruffin. Name kind of rings a bell. It's because Negro Leagues. I've heard of him, so we're hoping he turns into something amazing. He had a good career there. Then Ossie Brown, and then again, just a bunch of lots of players. Also in the offseason, though, we had a trade. So this is because I'm a sucker for history, being a history teacher and loving baseball history and all this. I was offered George Washington in a deal, and so I didn't take that deal, but instead I traded away Rap Dixon, who will probably end up having a monster season. But we just had a crowded outfield. I hope he does well. He's had a solid career, but sometimes he gets to start, sometimes he doesn't. It's kind of back and forth. He's up and down, but he's 32, while George Washington is only 27, and they look comparable other than the eye. And George here didn't really have much of a career outside of 2 seasons in 1935-36, and then a lot of seasons in the minors where he hit 400, so maybe he emerges. I don't know, but I wanted George Washington on my team. Hall of Fame, Charles Bender's the only one who gets in. Zach Wheat still couldn't. Sherry McGee couldn't. Smokey Joe Wood and so on, still not there. And no one of real note has dropped off. That's shocking to me. And the top 100 prospects going into the season, the St. Louis Browns, no surprise, have the top 3, but only one of them, Quincy Troop, looks like he's close to being ready for the team. John D. Vandermeer is not ready there either. But they also have number 5, Enos Slaughter. So they are set up for the future. That is for sure. And Mort Cooper is there sitting there for the Athletics. He's going to be coming up pretty soon. So there might be some changes happening in the power of the American and National Leagues. So our lineup is going to be Cool Papa Bell, Lonnie Frey. Cool Papa Bell looks like he's ready to go and get on base, and look at the speed. So this could be a bounce-back season for him, getting to start full-time in center field where he's more comfortable. Lonnie Frey, Martin Dihigo, who this is his pitching this season. This could be an amazing year for him. His hitting is still, his power is amazing. His contact's about where it has been. Lou Gehrig is ready to have hopefully another big year. Maybe he'll hit 40 home runs. Jimmy Dykes is set in 5th. Heine Manouche is dropping back a little bit because we're not sure he's going to hit the 360s and 350s again. Newt Allen is back in the lineup for defense. And then Al Lopez at catcher. Our pitching rotations, Carl Hubble, Martin Dihigo, Lefty Grove, who looks to have a bounce-back season, and Luis Tiant, who looks to have yet another good season, we're hoping. So this, I am excited. Charlie Root is sitting back here, as well. So you know what? Maybe this is when we do a 5-man rotation. I think we're going to do that because Charlie's ready to go as well, and I think this could be good. We can go to 4 if we need to. If these guys are dominating, we'll switch to 4 and let them just continue to dominate. So now, because we do have all-star games now, they've been a couple, I'm going to go instead of July 1st, until we get to the all-star break so we can see who the all-star teams are and start to find out who's showing up and how many we get, and we will jump ahead till then. Well, at the all-star break, we're sitting a game behind. Our pitching staff started out dominant. They're slipping a little bit at the moment. Gehrig's having another fantastic season, and that brings us to our all-star update. And when we look at the all-star rosters, in the AL, Paul Dean's got 1. So we got Lefty Gomez started. We got Bob Smith, Bill Dickey's started, Bill Terry, Matt Carlisle, Arky Vaughn. We're seeing some names, Joe Medwick, Earl Averill, Hank Lieber. In the NL, Cy Blanton showing up at 27. Martin Dihigo getting in. Carl Hubble getting in. Satchel Paige is there. Jimmy Fox and Josh Gibson. What a double duo there. And Gehrig. These 3 together. And Greenberg. Man, the NL is loaded with Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers. Lonnie Frey for us, hitting 324, 5 home runs, 44 RBIs, the young shortstop. Congratulations, sir. Turkey Stern's still going at 34. Haven't, phew, man, those ratings are phenomenal. If only we're hitting more than Chuck Klein and Mel Ott. No surprise there, having another good season. So when we look at the standings, the Red Sox are pulling away in the American League, 7 games up already. The Browns, hey, they may not be last this time. We are a game behind. It's the Reds, Braves, and us, unless somebody starts to mount a run here. So in the stats, we have Arky Vaughn leading the way at 383, followed by Hank Lieber. Ripper Collins with 15 home runs. Medwick's back up there. Gus Surr has 72 RBIs with Medwick up there again. Mel Almada with 10 stolen bases. In the pitching categories, Lefty Gomez, followed by Bill Halligan. Wins, Lefty Gomez. And then strikeouts, Tommy Bridges, but Lefty Gomez is right behind. And then Bump Hadley for the Browns, 11. Now, I always get Grove and Gomez mixed up, but Lefty Gomez, that's right, was the Yankees pitcher, and he's pitching for the Yankees in real life, so are in the game. So how about that? I did check in on Babe Ruth. He's back in the starting lineup now. He's got 5 home runs. Now, his on-base percentage isn't as bad as it could be with the average because he's walking a lot, but he's just a shell of himself. This will probably be his last season. In the NL, we have Buck Leonard leading the way at 381, but he's out for 4 weeks. Then Turkey Stearns, Jimmy Fox in home runs, followed by Lou Gehrig, 17. RBIs going to Greenberg, but Gehrig's up there with 66. Cool Papa Bell's running the bases with 15 stolen bases behind Harry Williams. And in the NL, we got Sale Johnson barely holding off Carl Hubble for the ERA title. Page is racking up the wins and the strikeouts as well, with Johnny Allen and Dizzy Dean barely leading. George Earnshaw is leading in saves, tied with actually our guy, Bob Griffith. So that's where we stand, and hopefully we can have a good second half because this is going to be a tight one. All right, September, the stretch run is there. We are tied with the Boston Braves. The Reds are 3.5 back. We had a 14-game winning streak at one point, but then we lost 4 or 5 in a row after that. So here we are in a tight one. Gehrig's doing great for us. Lonnie Frey's been on fire. Cool Papa Bell, 24 stolen bases. Dihigo, 17-6. Lefty Grove is doing well. We did switch to the 4-man rotation. Tiant was struggling. These guys are doing great. I mean, 4-man rotation is what they were using most of the time in this time period anyway, so we thought we'd go for that. And maybe Tiant could be better in the bullpen for us. We're hoping, but it's going to come down to the end. So hopefully when we come back and jump ahead, we are in the World Series this year as we got so close last year. Let's see how it turns out. And as you see, the Red Sox are our next opponent, which means we were able to win the pennant, beat the Reds by 3 games. When we look at the stats, how things shaked out, the Red Sox had a much easier time. Bill Terry got the batting title in the AL, followed by Medwick. He barely missed out on Triple Crown again, only because this time he got the home runs and the RBI. Ripper Collins was barely behind him. So Medwick's so close. He just can't quite get there. He's only 23, though. Wow. He is just doing phenomenal. Who knows? He might get there at some point. He's already doing great. But 137 RBI. Mel Amata with 17. Not a lot of stolen bases this season. In the pitching categories, Joe Bowman, followed by Lefty Gomez. Lefty Gomez got wins and strikeouts, so he barely by .02 missed the pitching Triple Crown. Paul Dean was back up there again. Saves, Don Brennan with 20 saves. Most saves we've had really in a while. Batting average, Turkey Stearns at the age of 34 taking home the batting title with Joe Vosmick and Billy Herman. Home run title goes to Jimmy Fox once again. Chet Klein and Wally Berger second. Wally Berger getting the RBI title. Greenberg's up there on this one. So a lot of variety in the hitters here. Gehrig 122 on the RBI. He hit 306. 27 home runs. By no means was a slouch, but I don't know that the MVP is going to be going to him. Stolen bases were in the NL this year with Harry Williams there, but Cool Papa Bell hitting 318. Bounce back season. 5 home runs as well. Getting on base, running the base as well. He did score 115 runs, so it's good to see him back doing that. But OPS, Gehrig again, so he gets on base and he makes runs happen. Pitching-wise, Satchel Paige getting the ERA and the win title, but he's not able to get the strikeouts. He only had 151. So Dizzy Dean takes that one. Hubble did get up there in strikeouts and wins as well. George Earnshaw getting 15 saves over there. So we're going to see, can we win? We are looking at what? Last time we won the championship was 1929. We made the World Series in 1930. The Boston Red Sox have not been there in this run. So will they get their first one in this run against us, or will we claim another World Series championship? We're going to start right now, and we're going to see, can Hubble get us off to a good start? We wait in suspense. Red Sox defeated. Oh, that's too bad. Hubble didn't have a bad game. We just didn't have the offense like they did. Al Simmons leading the way with a home run there. Red Sox beat us 8-1. Dehigo getting roughed up. Lefty Grove trying to stop it. We do get the win 11-1 that time. Jimmy Dykes getting a home run for us. Now we turn to Charlie Root, losing 5-4. Ooh, this is going to be tough. We are down 3-1. Hubble's back on the mound. He brings it home. The ace does 3-1 win. He does his job that time, shutting down the bats of the Red Sox. Now we've got Dehigo up on the mound. I'm not feeling as good about this one. And we do lose. Willie Wells takes home the MVP with 8 RBI, 500 batting average. Wow. So we made it. Second time in a row, though, when we make it, we end up losing. So we're going to wrap this season up. We're going to pick back up in the off season to see the draft and the awards as we jump into the 1936 seasons after this. So thank you for joining me. Don't forget, if you are enjoying this and you haven't already and you've made it this far, subscribe to the channel so you can see what else is going on. You can get these updates easier. It also helps the channel grow. It means a lot to me if you do. I appreciate your time. Hope you're enjoying this and this alternate history that we've got going, and I'll see you on the next episode.